Now it's time for another Board Game Brawl preview with Nick Minahan, sponsored by BoardGameBliss.com.
Hey now, my name is Nick, this is Board Game Brawl, and today we're going to be taking a look at a game that is currently seeking funding on Kickstarter. That game is called The Voting Game, and it's from The Voting Game LLC. Now this is actually going to be a new re-release of the original game in a fancier version. If you like what you see throughout the rest of this video, I'm going to encourage you to go to the official Kickstarter project page. I'm going to have a link at the bottom of your screen now and at the end of the video, and also down in the description section of the video. That will take you to the page. You can find out even more information, and hopefully you'll consider backing the project. Now, the voting game is a party game for up to 10 people. You are trying to figure out what your friends really think about you and the other people at the table by asking questions. Sounds simple, right? But really what you're trying to do is put people into very unusual situations, put them in unusual hypothetical situations, and see how they'd react. Based on the question that you ask, other players are going to vote to see who fits the criteria the most. Like, who is most likely to rob a bank would be a benign answer, and they can get pretty naughty up from there. But you would say something like, who's most likely to rob a bank? And then everyone votes for the person at the table that they think is actually going to be most likely to rob a bank. Hypothetically, of course. Let me go ahead and show you briefly how the game is played using the cards. Then we're going to come back. I'll let you know my final thoughts. Alright, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the voting game. This is a competitive party game for up to 10 players. The goal of the game is to acquire as many of these black question cards as you possibly can. How you're going to get those is by asking questions and trying to siphon off as many votes for the particular question as you possibly can. Let me explain. At the start of the game, every player is going to get a colored number card in front of them, letting people know what number they are. So I'm the number 1 player, so anytime someone wants to vote for me, they have to put down their 1 card. And that's where these come in. Each player is going to get a set of the cards with the white background corresponding to the numbers of all the players that are in the game. So if you're using a 10-player game, you'll have all 10 cards, but except for yours, because unless you're using one of the variants, you cannot vote for yourself in any of the votes. So you'll choose someone to go first as the active player. That player is going to flip over the top card of the question deck, or you can always use a variant and ask your own questions if you want, but there are quite a few question cards for you to use if you so choose. So I'm going to flip over the top card here, and so this one is, who would be your one phone call if you got arrested? Or it could be, who is the most terrified of holding an infant? Or it could be, who brings an umbrella on days with a 10% chance of rain? I'm waiting until I get a really dirty one. Who has gotten the most upset while playing Monopoly? Or who was always the last one picked in gym class? Or who are you most similar to? Answer for yourself. Or who would do the best job singing the national anthem? Who are your great grandchildren read about in school? And so on and so forth. So everyone is going to read that question and interpret it how they want for the other players who are at the table, and say, well, who's going to meet that criteria the most? Who will your great-grandchildren read about in school, for better or for worse? So I say, oh, well, Bob over there seems like he's going to have a pretty infamous end. So I'm going to go ahead and vote for player number 3. Everyone is going to submit their card face down when everyone is submitted. You're going to gather them all up, shuffle them up as the active player. You're going to be doing this, and then you're going to reveal the cards. Now, when all of the cards are revealed and everyone has seen who everyone has voted for, everyone who actually received votes from that go-around has one chance to guess per vote that they received who actually voted for them. And then if they're right with those guesses, those players actually have to reveal themselves and say, yeah, that was me. I actually voted for that. But other than that, everyone's going to add up all the votes that they received as part of that round. Whoever has at least half of the votes is going to be able to take that black question card as a point. and the first person to get to 6 points is going to be the winner. Unless you want to play a longer game, or unless you just don't want to play for points, you don't care, you're just enjoying the fun of playing the game. In any event, once someone's claimed the card, everyone gathers back up all the vote cards that they submitted. Play is going to go to the next person in clockwise order or counterclockwise order. I guess I have it in counterclockwise order for some reason. However you want to do it. The next person is going to draw another question card and read it. Whose wardrobe has changed the least in the past 10 years? And then you do it all over again until you've had enough fun for one day, or you actually meet your point threshold limit. That is the voting game. Now, let's get to my final thoughts. Well, that is the voting game, and I think that on the surface of it, if you just glance at it, you might think, well, this is like a lot of other games that are out there that are just trying to get a cheap laugh off of playing a funny card. Games that are either trivia-based, like wacky trivia, or games that are just like, hey, I've got a vagina card, so obviously I'm going to win this hand, and that's that. But that is the huge difference between the voting game and a lot of other games in this broad genre. And that is that while some of the questions obviously are very funny or risque or a bit sarcastic and witty and clever, the reality is those question cards are facilitating the players at the table, whether they're people that you know or people that you don't know, and those can lead to two very different but equally enjoyable experiences. But it's all about facilitating those players getting to know each other better, sometimes in really ridiculous ways. I think that if you play this game enough, one of the interesting scenarios that will pop up is that a card comes up and it's something like, who's most likely to rob a bank in the future? Or if you make up your own questions, it could be who's most likely to sell their kidneys to buy the latest Pokemon game, something like that. And then reading that ridiculous question and then thinking like, oh, well, that person over there, yeah, obviously. And then you end up getting all of the votes, or at least half of the votes. And it's like, what? Why? And then discussing that and figuring out and then trying to guess who would possibly vote for you, and seeing those people sheepishly say, yeah, it was definitely me. Those types of situations are what the voting game brings out of people. So in that regard, while there is definitely a game here and there are rules and you have these question cards that are very interesting and sometimes very funny, it's all about drawing these interactions out of people at the table, which makes it very unique amongst all of its brethren in, again, this very broad category of party card games. And so if you're into that type of game, I think that this is definitely going to be something you want to check out, because it is unique in that regard, the whole voting format, and also how everyone can be involved. Even if you are the active player, you're also voting as well. There's a lot of different variants in the back of the book that you can try as well, including being able to vote for yourself, the selfie variant, or you can choose to play for points if you want. You can choose to not play for points if you want. You have these different options. So if you're into these type of party games, you definitely want to check this one out, because it might be a unique experience for you, something that you may not have expected. And if you really are interested, I want you to go to the official Kickstarter project page. It's running right now. I'm going to have a link at the bottom of your screen and then down in the description section of the video. That'll take you to the page, find out even more information than I could possibly tell you about this new fancier edition of the game, and hopefully you'll consider backing the project. That is the voting game. My name is Nick. This has been Board Game Brawl. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.
Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. And make sure to check out our sponsor, Board Game Bliss, where you can find an amazing selection of games from around the world. BoardGameBliss.com. Thanks for your support.